like, oh my God, I needed that so bad. So thank you. I feel like you guys do that to me. You know, you guys do that to me. That's love right there. That's love, you know? Anyway, I love that.
Yeah, there we go. It's all love.
I love that you were at the brewery because it made me feel, when you were like walking through it, made me feel, like, you know, that pep I need, like getting through. You're taking me vicariously, and then the snow was great too. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, girl, so I guess Brittany I think she had to go. She clicked off. So she'll probably be back on. So any kind of thing that you've been diving into, and thank you for the compliment. Of course, you always do. But anything that you've been getting into, because I cannot wait to tell you.
So, dude, I've been through a lot of just, like,
shit,
spiritual ascension, just, like, a lot of just,
right? Like,
death and rebirth of over just the amount of time I have since I haven't seen you. It's just been, like,
accelerated, crazy accelerated.
Ugly.
Right?
Ugly, like, just, but it's all, like, for a purpose. Like, it's all happening exactly how it should. So,
absolutely.
It's been, like, it's been fucking hell, but
yes,
I've been, like a phoenix, like, having to go through these situations to, like, grow through them, and just, like, right now, like, there's noise over here.
It's okay.
Right now, in like, the astrology, like, what, Mars is in Scorpio, Venus is in
Capricorn,
or something like that. Venus, Capricorn. So yeah, so like those two are my main signs. So they're like, one's affecting my 8th house is my Scorpio and my 8th house. So that's just like death and rebirth. And my other one is Capricorn is my Venus. Capricorn, I have Capricorn Venus. So love and just like personal death for myself. It's all like self-love. Yeah, because like right now, like,
have you been struggling as well, like with that concept?
Absolutely.
Me too.
Absolutely. It's been insane, but I'm getting through, like, I'm coming up through the trenches.
Yes,
like,
and you're catching yourself, that's what is so fucking beautiful about this shit, is that me and you are like able to say, yeah, but you know what, I wasn't there dreary for a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that. I love that we're able to say that too, because some people try to hide that when they're like, oh, I'm enlightened and stuff, and they don't ever say that they have days, weeks, whatever like that. I have been too, and I think everybody is. You know, I just definitely think that. It's been wild, right? As far as how accelerated it's been, as far as how much all at once, when it rains it pours type of thing, right?
All at once,
Dude.
It's been intense.
It's been so intense. I'm glad to get that. Glad to get the validation.
It's been a hell of a ride. I mean, and like, as much as like we should be, you know, the self-love journey is part of like going through the deepest, darkest times in your life and just like purging that shit. And like, you know what? I fell off the wagon many times. I binge ate, I binge drank, I binged a lot of things that I shouldn't have. And it's about like when you're going through it, catching yourself and being like, you know what? I don't even regret any of that. Like, I needed to do that. Because it's like, so I heard the other day, like, one of the tarot readers that I watched, she was like, when you're going through an ascension and you start to catch yourself going through, like, your old, like, you know, so-called negative habits, it's because you're diving into, like, the depths of, like, a lower vibrational energy to clear it out. So it's good to go there.
Yep.
It's good to be there and then realize and catch yourself and clear it and then, you know, come back up. And so, like, we go, like, our life is about waves. Like, it's about the ebbs and flows. And, like, right now, life has been, like, one big ebb and flow with a bunch of little ebbs and flows.
Yes.
So, like, you know what I'm saying? Especially with the crazy planets going on and stuff like that. So,
right?
It's been insane.
Right?
It's been a ride, girl. It's been a ride.
It's been like a rip-roaring rapids. Get your life vest, and I'll be a life vest for you, a life rep. Because let me tell you, and you know, I think that's beautiful what you shared about that, you know, truth about, you know, catching ourselves and having a reason for going down there and then having to go back up. I think that's beautiful, and I think that a lot for me has come on because, you know, like we talked about everything all at once. But I think when something happens that I wasn't expecting, which were more than that, but two big events, you know, my cousin's husband's death, and then I was just meditating, girl. I wasn't trying to go get past life regression. I had a lot on my plate already. And all of a sudden, it's so real, Elyse. I am going to beg you for the next 2 years, whatever, get a past life regression. It came into my third eye view like a movie, like I was there and I felt emotional and it was spontaneous. And so I think that what I did is I revisited the beginning of my spiritual awakening when things like that I used to induce fear in myself. I was like, oh my God, you know, and I had all this existential crisis going on, like, oh, you know, this COVID thing and the death of him. And then, you know, I was feeling fear not only because of how real it was for me that I 100% now believe in past lives, whether they're happening or not, simultaneously coexisting right now with the here and now, like past, future, and present is all in one, like that time space continuum or not. It's real for me, and I think that I had to. What I was doing is reevaluating the fear. That's why I'm glad to be on right here. Of being able to say that to somebody or on my channel. And so you always helped me with that. So I'm like, well, shit, I have to speak my truth. So I'm like, even if this looks batshit crazy, here we go with the speckled horse. Past life story. I'm just like, hey, dude,
whatever.
You know, universe is vast.
That's why I said you're glowing, because you've gone through a huge purge of like same with me, like speaking, like needing to go and find where that fear was coming from, and it was from a past life. Like it wasn't for. I mean, there were a lot to do like with this life, with, you know, just life experiences knocking me down and breaking me. But my main that main trigger was like from elsewhere, like you said. So
tell me,
to like go in the depths and find.
Tell me about what is your, like, I'm so excited. Sorry, once again, I'm cutting you off, but I am so stoked right now. I have tingles in my toes. Wait, so have you investigated any past lives? Because you mentioned there's karma from there, and I'm just diving into that. Yeah. So tell me, like, do you know, did you get regression or, you know?
So, no, I've tried to do, like, hypnosis or, like, regressions with myself, but where I've really figured it out was just going deep into meditation and setting that intention, and then just hypnosis. So, like, and then just the more I'm, like, ascending on my journey, the more I get flashbacks.
Yes.
Like, deep triggers of, like, it's not from this life. It's got to be from something else. So, like, I'll even, like, sometimes, like, I'll, like, my timeline moves into my past timeline. So, like, I'll be walking and, like, it'll, like, hit me, like, especially in nature. So I know that I was killed for helping people. Like, I know I was killed for helping people when, you know, people wanted to take me down because I had that love and that light. And I was killed for that. Like, and I've had other readings to where they were like, you were a shaman in your past life, so you had that wisdom to bring to people around you.
Yes.
And just, like, I've always had the underdog energy of, like, even in this life, like, loving, always supporting an underdog no matter what. And, like, I knew that was part of my past life. That's who I helped out and, like, stood for, and standing for things that when society went against it. And I still do. Like, look at me. Like, I don't go with the flow of society. I go against it because 100%. It's not, or I go my own way because it's not how, you know. So just, like, dude, just so much reflection on how to do. So and it feels like, I feel like we've died in, like, we've shed so much. That's why I'm like, you and I, we both look totally different because
so true.
We're shedding. We're shedding.
Your cheeks have the glow of, like, woo, like brand new. It is so true. And guess what? This is a past life deck, and I was just guided to bring it out. Let's just see what comes out while we're talking. So, okay, how true is that about, you know, I am profoundly, you know how I'm into healing with my, you know, hands energy. I am so stoked and astounded on how healing really, though, that realization, even like you said, when you get those spontaneous, you know, because we're very in tune, Pisces and just you. So, and then figuring it out, don't you love when you bridge the ties and you see, you're like, oh, okay, this is healing. And so I have nothing but recommendation as of lately. I found out myself how amazing it could be. So yeah, no doubt.
I'd like to.
Go ahead, baby.
I'd like to, like, a part of me wants to dig deeper into a little bit more understanding, but then a part of me is like, I think for now in my life path right now, I think I've learned as much as I need to.
Yep. Yeah. Did you get obsessive with it? Like I went into, when it came spontaneous, I went into, like you said, I went to the, you know, Dr. Joe Dispenza and Brian Weiss, and like went in purposely since that happened to me. And every night I've been doing a past life regression, you know, guided meditation. Now, half the time I fall asleep, half the time I don't, and I'll have more coming to me. But that's a realization I had as I was going so much farther than I think Spirit wanted me to push into. And so they were like getting me to a point, holding me back, I think. And I began to, I think, get overwhelmed with, oh my God, you know, because there was like 4 lifetimes that came out. And so I think that there is something to be said with pumping the brakes with exploration. So I appreciate you mentioning that. You know what I mean? Like, have you gotten to a point where you feel like that, where you're exploring too much, or it's really taking over your headspace like 100%? Like, I'm really compulsive. That's just me, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same. Like when I want to learn it, I'm gonna dig deep. But I think I just had that like calling of like, all right, you've learned what you needed to. Just you don't want to go any deeper because you don't want to become obsessed with it. Because like I have a kind of like a addictive personality in a way.
Okay, what came up?
So,
phobias.
Phobias?
And you just said you don't want to. Phobias, I'm sure that you would agree with one of my lives and what you just said about your integration of that past life, is that there may be fears that were instilled within us regarding being persecuted for sticking up for the underdog or what we believed in. You know what I'm saying?
And listen, on top of us doing our past life work, we've had to do generational work.
Yes. Yeah. Do you think that that's integrated? I think it's tied in. Yes. I think it's tied in. Sometimes I honestly am very open to whether or not I am blending one of my experiences, but definitely they are mine. But sometimes this other one that I had, I said, wow, because I have the Ancestry book. I even pulled it out from, Ancestry.com, because I was like, wait, because I know we store our, ancestral memory in the, every orifice that we have, all of our cells in memory. And so I'm thinking there is something to be said about that tied in with our own past lives. I think that we're taking on all of that, and maybe it would take me practicing over and over to decipher which is which. What do you think about that? You know what I mean? Both being a possible truth to the past life regression.
So what's helped me was just understanding the psychology of my family. Yeah. So reading my mom, reading my dad, reading my grandpa, reading just seeing the habits of my sister and seeing how it all just like correlates together. Mm-hmm. And just like the psychology behind my family. And then that's another. So there was a reading that I saw, and they said that I had a past life there as well.
Girl, the last reading I had, they said that, and I haven't had one in about 1.5 years. But I was like, at the time, me, I'm open-minded. I didn't call bullshit, but I'm like, well, potentially, like 50%, but I just kept it like, oh, I'm sure maybe Lemuria, Atlantis. Okay, tell me why. I definitely had, so that's very interesting. I wonder if when that was going down in that society where everything kind of got greedy and bad, maybe you were somebody who stuck up for the natural world order.
That's what she had said in the reading. She had said, since we came from, Lemuria, just the loving, light, high vibrational place, when we saw the destruction going on, we tried to stop it, and we tried to call bullshit on what exactly was going on, and that could have been where we were persecuted as well. So
I feel that in my cheeks, on my head. I have chills, my crown right now. That's exactly why I probably wanted to draw those cards. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That is so beautiful.
That's crazy.
Okay, so I'll share then one of the really quick, when you're talking about those flashbacks that just come on. So I wasn't even meditating, chilling, and I had a flashback. I said, oh my God. So it was me in the middle of the ocean. I can tell I'm on a boat, an old boat, but it was advanced, right? Like almost like a submarine, but back in the day, I could tell it was prehistoric, like 10,000 plus years BC. And I look to my left and I feel a sense of absolute sadness and loss that I just did my best but couldn't do it. And I see a big explosion come from an island in the middle of the water. And I instantly was downloaded Atlantis, and that was it. And so I've been very curious, but that's, you know, that's as far as I've gone. But I mean, no doubt. I'm into ancient civilizations and stuff like that. Like it existed probably over and over our cycles of getting technology. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. And like, when I was awakening on my journey here, when I realized, like, when my guides, like, opened me up to what's really going on in this world with animal cruelty, like, the horrible ways we, you know, and just, like, the fact that there's things going on in this world, and even in America, that people are still slaves. Like, we don't know this. There's underground, you know, like, underground, it's still happening. And, like, my guides, like, opened me up to these things, and, like, it brought me a flashback of, like, this is not the first time I've heard this in my life, and I just had a whole, like, break, like, my heart just sunk into my stomach of, like, I felt this before somewhere, like, this isn't the first time, and that's why I heard even more, because I'm like, this is still going on, and this life, you know, like,
you're like in a,
you're like, you know, thousands of years ago,
right?
Yeah, so it's like especially when it hits harder, it's like a replay of, oh my God, you have to experience this shit again.
Yes. And it's a more disappointment because you realize the truth that you have, and then you're like, wait a second, that means so many missions, it hasn't gone to the side of nature and what is right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that 100%. I have chills everywhere. I get it 100%. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm just mind blown. So do you, when you have those flashbacks, do you see it in a picture, visual, or do you get a feeling like a knowing?
Both.
Me too.
A picture, kind of like, you remember that show on Disney Channel, That's So Raven, when she got her flashes?
Yep.
Did you ever see that show?
Yeah, I love it.
Her, like, boom, and she'd see, like, a flash.
Yep.
Like, that's what it was. Yes. And then I feel just this overwhelming feeling of, like, you know, just sadness or grief or anything, any flash that I get, whatever feeling or story it is, like, I'll feel it as well. So
okay, so you know what that I did is I went down the rabbit hole and I went to all these videos about teachings of what that is, because I didn't even know before this happened that you can get a spontaneous recall, you know, a regressive. But I went in the rabbit hole and I was really intrigued by something, and I don't know if this will ring true to you or not, but they said basically when you get the picture, it's just one picture and then the knowingness that you're accessing the astral plane, okay? The space between here and there. And there is, you know, an intuitive vibe that is obviously like fifth dimension type of thing. And so when you get the thing that is, I had on the spontaneous, where it's like a movie where it's playing and you feel like, I even felt the physical, it was nuts. I was like, oh my God, now I understand with past life regressions where people are going through their death and they're choking. I understand because it goes into, they said that is when you relax enough to go into the realm of the Akashic records. So I don't know what truth that is, but it kind of rang true. And I'm like, okay, because most are just pictures and knowing, but that one, whew, it was a movie. Like it was real. So it's powerful.
Yeah, the fact that you can tap into that through hypnosis or, you know, regression hypnosis, you will eventually, like, the further you get into your spiritual journey, you'll be able to do that just in the 3D. Just, like flashes of just feeling, like, and I haven't gotten there yet. Like, I haven't gotten to the point where I, like, physically feel things. Okay. But since you're, like, aware of that, like, you can actually build that power, that strength up to get to that point. And I don't know how, like, it's a curse and a blessing because it's pretty cool, but at the same time, it's actually terrifying because
straight up
doing that, like, in 3D, like, when you're just, you know, walking around the street and you're just like, whoa, like, did that just happen?
Dude, and then, like, so, I had the craziest thing, too. You know how people will say, like, their child had a past life and that they had a rash that would never go away, and then they regress and then go away. Okay, so I had the opposite. I don't know, maybe if I'm not doing it right, that's why I want to pump the brakes. I was purposely, after the spontaneous one, purposely went into a regressive for the Brian Weiss. It came on. I'm in a different scene 5 years past the one I saw. Okay, tell me why I not only felt it, that I was tied up. I was like a Native American tied up with ropes to a horse. I felt the exhaustion. I felt the rope hurting like a blister. So I got off that about a day later. Tell me why. I don't know if you can see. They're kind of gone. I got little, like, dude, like it looks like a rug burn. And I'm like, what? So I was like, okay, maybe I need to finish that story or something.
You're literally jumping timelines.
Right? That's exactly it.
Time's not linear. Time's not linear. It's literally, time is like just now. Everything is now.
100%.
So in the 3D realm, like in the 3D realm, time is linear. But like when you go to the 5D, everything is just one.
Simultaneous,
so
yeah.
You're literally jumping from past, present, future. You know, it's crazy.
I'm so happy you said that and bring that up, because that's my next question. That's the only other one written down, is that I didn't tell you about the other thing that was overwhelming. I call it, and I don't know, but you just said it, a time slip. So I'm sitting here again. I had meditated early in the morning. I do it morning and night. So I was sitting here, and this is going to sound funky, but I know you can kind of feel me. So all of a sudden, I can't explain it, but I saw almost a vision of myself and my husband and a spirit guide, right? And they were like, I think the vision was to tell me and to give me a clue on what was going on. Before this happened, this time slip, I saw me right here, kind of my husband, and then a spirit guide or something. I could sense that. And I saw all these levels of dimensions, I assumed. And all of a sudden I go, what? And I felt as if for 1 second, and it brought me back, I felt as if I was in a future timeline looking back on this right here above, down in my bedroom and saying, aw, like I was looking at dinosaurs from this day. Do you know what I mean? It was wild. I literally, for 1 second, slipped, I think, into a space that is, of course, in the future, but going on simultaneously. It's like when I try to explain this to my kids, they're like, what? So that I also experienced with this. Oops, you froze. Oops, are you there? I think, was I talking like just, I was all babbling? Are you there, sweet love? Hold on, let me chat if you don't come back on in 1 second, if you can hear me. You froze a little bit after you walked out of the bistro, or if you can hear me. Oh, I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
I try to, because they turn the music up in here, and then I try to go outside, and then the Wi-Fi helps me off of it. So.
No worries. I'm like, I'll just stay on and see. So I don't know how much of that you caught.
Is the music too loud?
No, not at all. I don't think so.
Okay. Cool. But yeah, go ahead and go for what you were saying. I missed like most of that.
So a time slip is what I'm calling it, and basically I had this vision, opaque vision, a slight vision and a knowingness basically to my right, which usually my vision things happen to the left. So anyway, there was this structure, it looked like scaffolding, like a ladder or something, and I had a knowingness that those were levels of existence, of dimensions, and up here was me and my husband, his soul, and what I come to know, I'm pretty sure there was someone in the middle. I think it was my spirit guide, because I felt that same energy. And then right after that happened, poof, for only 1.1 second, I felt the feeling, literally, of being an old soul, but I know things are happening simultaneously, but I slipped timelines into a future timeline, because it was as if I was looking down into my bedroom as if, you know, it was ancient history. And I was going, oh, how cute, those little tadpole spirits or something like that. And I literally, I have chills right now telling you about it. It flipped me. That's one of the things that sent me into like a fear place. And I had to examine that and be like, girl, you know, things are crazy. So I just really, I wouldn't probably explain that to anyone else. I don't know how to put it in words, but it was so profound. It was as if it solidified what I definitely knew, what you're talking about everything is the here and now. There is no past, there is no future. Time is, you know, definitely not linear when you go, like, you know, near-death experiences. Brittany says that. Brittany even says that. If she comes back, she can talk about it. But it was wild. It was like as if me and my husband maybe would have a view into the dinosaurs right now, it was like, that's how it felt. Like I was looking into a past timeline. It was wild.
And it'll get even crazier the more we send into the 4D. People start to understand this a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
But right now, everybody's still like they're trying to keep us in fear-based mode in the 3D because they know how this world is going.
Yes, and they're trying everything.
These higher ups are trying absolutely everything they can. So turn your TVs off, turn your news off, turn your crap off.
Yep. Yes.
Don't let people control your mind. You have the power. You always have the power. Nobody outside of us can take your power away.
Amen.
And that's what they try to make you believe, that they're taking your power away and that they're scaring you to death. But your power is within. You hold that within. You are God. Like you are. God created us. So.
What happened? What happened?
It might have knocked us out.
Oh, that's okay. But you know what? We're still talking, so let it go. You know what it is doing? I think that it didn't knock us out because we can talk as long as we want. There's only 2, but when there's 3 people, it's a 40-minute limit. So I think that it just figured out that we only have 2 people. I'm recording this, by the way. I couldn't figure out how to go on live, so I'm recording it. But I totally agree with you about everything that you just said, especially like co-creation. We're co-creators, and that's why I'm not a proponent for the vax. Like I said, it's like that's for to go to the game. It's so selfish, but that's what's up. I really told people that told me, oh, you're going to get the chip, the microchip. I said, let them try to chip me because I am one with God. There is nothing that's going to control my mind at this point. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Absolutely. And I know people who are super spiritual and who've got it, and you're literally able to transmute that negative vibration to a higher vibration.
Yes.
So they're like, and that's when you kind of like, at first when I heard you say that, I was like, you did, and then I was like, wait a second, like this is part of your path. This is part of your journey. Like this is your calling right now to, pretty much get it and then transmute it.
You just blew my fucking mind with what you said, because guess what? I swear me and you are so connected, dude. I'm so excited. So on the way back from getting it, I said to myself, like, oh, I'm going to do what I did last time when I got the first one. I'm going to do the mantra, which is just like that. This is transmuting whatever this is. It's not going to hurt me. It's going to make my immune system either better, or if not, if there's anything harmful, it ain't going to touch me. Spirit guide, let's go. God, let's go. I have the power to do anything, heal myself, my back. I go, let's do this. And I go, I am admitting, as you know, Spirit, I did this just to go to a game, but I need it. I was like, the whole 9 yards. But for real, though, in my meditation before we jumped on, I'm like, the same thing. See, and I could feel that truth seeping through my body. So I'm so freaking glad that you gave that validation. Because I didn't go with my family. They got the booster about 2 weeks ago. I said, hell no. All this mandate stuff. I got sick with the first one. Did you know that I got sick with the first one?
No.
Oh my God.
No.
I got the Johnson, right? Again, for selfish, because we had to be vaccinated to go to Disneyland, and I really wanted to go, right? So I got vaccinated April of last year. Let me tell you, fever, my mind was literally as if you're delirious with the flu. It was so fucked up. Went to the ER 2 days later, dehydrated, pneumonia, put me in the hospital, blah, blah, blah. So I said, I'm not getting any other vaccine. When I get back from Disneyland, I did what I did. So then now they're not giving the Johnson. I wonder why, so I had to get the Moderna, whatever. But that being said, it's like, as soon as I turned the corner with that last experience last April and said what I just told you, the mantra, hey, I'm not going to fall for this. Every poison that was in there, let's get out the body. Let's yoga it out, whatever. I was able to channel even better. As we ascend, it's like, that didn't do anything to dampen me. You know what I mean? Maybe got me stronger because I learned to change it.
Yeah, and I heard like, don't, even if they absolutely made everybody get it, they say don't fight it, because you fighting it is giving more of your energy to the other, lower vibrational energy. So if it's something that you have to do, realize that God is with you the whole time, and you can transmute that lower vibrational whatever that you just put in your body, and you can make it in light. You can transmute something that's supposed to be negative into light. So no matter what it is, no matter what they make you do, your power is within. That's what I'm saying. Like the power is always within. So whatever they try to make you do, okay, whatever. It's like, hey, and that's what I'm saying. Our souls, like, we've been killed off. We've been persecuted. Like, you take us out of this life, you can't take us out of our soul. Like, we will always come back.
100. And, like, you know what? I think that's the beautiful recognition, like, one of them that comes out of finding out about everything you just talked about, linear time, past lives. It's like, wait, what can you do to me? Really, homie? Like, the Buddha and the Jesus consciousness, like, what can you do? I'm still going to be resurrected. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I love it.
Amen. Absolutely.
Okay, so check this out. I don't know why, but I want to pull cards. I'm so happy that you joined me. I'm like super stoked. So this is a new deck.
Yeah,
it's rad. Check this out. It's musical oracles.
Okay.
Isn't that funny? So they have artists. So we're gonna cut. Yeah, let's go. Let's give Elyse 3 cards, or let's just do 3 cards. See what comes up. Yeah, I haven't been in this good a mood in so long, so I'm so appreciative. Okay, Patti Smith. I don't know that artist. I usually do. I'm into music, but I don't know Patti Smith. But let's read it. It says, you know, oh my God, I'm so excitable. What, Elyse? Please, what did I just say? Okay, Jesus died for somebody's sins, but not yours. What, like talking about maybe his own? Okay, I just said Jesus consciousness. Okay, learn to make peace with eternal dissatisfaction. What? Dissatisfaction of the persecution and not going toward the Gaia. Oh my God. I have chills. The most powerful form of rebellion is of the spirit. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I have chills everywhere. That's rad. Born in the USA.
That's why he died with a smile on his face.
Yes.
That's why he died with a smile on his face. Because, hey, you can take me out of this body, you can't take me out of this soul. I'll be back, bitches.
Exactly.
I'll be back, and I'll be better.
Yeah, and even when you start wars over me, I'm going to be back and better and have love and give these people love and voice to talk about what's really indicative of me, you know? Okay, so now we got Born in the USA. Bruce Springsteen, girl. Okay, there will always be magic, even on the darkest nights. Dark nights of the soul. I've had a couple in the last several weeks. May your mistakes, look at this. This is crazy. These are totally for us. May your mistakes, like your sins, be your own. So they're not for other people to wear and shame you, you know. Mind blowing. I love you to death. Follow the river, but keep your eyes on the motherfucking sea. On the sea, water, let's do it. The rip-roaring rapids and then the ocean. Oh, look at this. She's a big-ass bad bitch that totally owns her own skin all the time. Cher. She's like still whatever she does. She does her. Nothing becomes a legend more than not giving a damn. Amen.
Amen.
Bad taste trumps no taste any day. And oh my gosh, I just had a chill, so I think this will resonate with me and you. I don't know how, but we don't have to say. Lovers come and lovers go, but sequins are forever. Friends in spirit are forever. Let's go with that, man. It's been deep. I know, right?
I love that.
Oh my God. Okay.
How freaking synchronistic.
Dude, that's the most I've ever had, to be honest. I was like, when I read the first word was Jesus and I just said Jesus consciousness, I'm like, no way. And I know we've talked about Christ consciousness before, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
See, I feel like we just have so much more on our journey to experience. Like,
yes.
I feel like I've only tapped into an 18th of my journey, and I've just learned so much, just like through the trials and tribulations.
Yep.
And it's just like, you can't break me. Like, yes, I may get pushed back, but I swing forward. Like,
resilience.
And just like, Phoenix. Yeah, resilience.
Yes.
That is, perseverance is going to be my next tattoo. Persevere.
Rad.
My next tattoo, that will, like, even in my darkest days when I just always wanted to give up and just, like, be like, oh, that's it, throw the towel in. I've tried to throw that towel in many times, and my soul goes, hell no, we're not going nowhere. We came here to experience this for a reason.
you've got to see this. I think it's under my bed, but you'll never believe. You know how like I didn't realize I saw the picture, but didn't realize that I had gotten like twin tattoo. Well, check out what my tattoo is gonna be, which I have it. I did have it hanging on my wall, but it is. Oh, maybe it's not under my bed.
Hey, I gotta say that's a dope ass Zodiac wheel in the back.
It's not under.
That's a cool ass dope. I like your Zodiac wheel on the back.
Thank
it's awesome.
you. I love it. Let's go over here. So my next tattoo is similar to what you're gonna put. It's the same concept. It's fall down 7 times, stand up 8. So yes, look at this is my little setup. And then my mom got me that. I put up on the ceiling the tapestry. And I put my little moon and stars.
Yeah, very cool.
And look, I'm like a Star Wars nerd, so I did the whole like Star Wars wall over there. And then this is my my cheesy little space wall. Like this is my other spot, but the lights are good. I got it for Christmas, so I'm sitting this way. This is my first call that I've done since like getting this whole setup. So thank you. Ooh, wait, one more. Is she waiting? I was wondering about that. I was wondering if Brittany's having any problem getting on. Hold on, it says chat. Was that Brittany? Oh no, that was the one from a long time ago. That's hecka funny. It was you. So anyways, thank you. I love it. And there's little different settings. See my Raider flag. They did their best, and so did Tampa Bay. God bless Brady. I watched all the games. But what kind of impressive? Let's talk football. What kind of impressive ass games were in the freaking? I cannot believe it. I was on my chair going, what? Another overtime? Woo! Let's go. And I'm at this point. I love Matty Stafford. I grew up in LA, so I just loved him on the Lions, having broken his clavicle. I don't know if you ever saw that, and like he broke his clavicle and still managed to win this one game a long time ago. And then his wife went through a brain tumor and almost died when she was like I think pregnant with her son. I just like that guy. Yeah, he's an Aquarius, so I think he's born ironically, which is I thought of you. Your birthday is the 22nd, right? So it'll be 2/2/2/2/2.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
His birthday, I believe. I know. It's coming up. Dude, it's his birthday is on 2/2.
Portal for all of us.
Yes. Yes.
Very powerful portal for everybody.
Super powerful portal. And I remember when I met you and you told me that, I said, oh, that's like a divine sign, not only for me, just how beautiful is that? How beautiful is that when everybody's going through this global awakening for a sign to be like, Elyse, you're special, you're an angel, you have a big ass purpose. I bet you anything, of course, you will experience something. It's your birthday. And I mean a big, profound something. But I think all of us, that's definitely a portal. I've been definitely noticing those days that come on, and I'm like, oh yes, I feel the light code activation, whatever it is, I feel it, So, any plans for your birthday?
Okay. Even the second of this month was really powerful. The 2022, that was really powerful. But
yes.
I'm trying to figure everything out what I'm trying to do for my birthday. Because I'll be with my sister the week of my birthday, but I'm trying to get a group of people so I can go out and have fun and just enjoy myself. Yeah. But so trying to figure out what's going on. I still got a little bit of time, but I love the nightlife. I love to go out. I love to have a good time. I love to dance. I love to party. Everything in moderation. So.
Honey, I love that, and I agree. And to be honest, I even tried to drink a beer because over the last, whatever, my family is like, are you sure you don't want to like just drink one beer for playoffs or anything? I'm like, no, I don't want to. And so Aaron was like, come on, just drink one. Like, you can look at that both ways, but he was the biggest proponent of like just. I was a hot mess. It was destructive to him, so he wouldn't do that unless he knew I was in a place. Anyway, I took a sip, and I'm like, nah. But I'm at the place, I think, where I don't have to be like, no, at all whatsoever. So if I was with you, I would definitely sip a drink and say, woo, let's dance a minute.
Yeah,
so,
definitely. See, like, for me, when I go out, I spend all of my time, most of the week and weeks, just focus on my spiritual growth, my health, my body health.
You deserve it.
And then when I want to have fun, I enjoy myself. Like, we came here to experience the human experience. We're not spirit living in spirit. Like, we're spirit living in a human body. As long as you can enjoy yourself, and this is also if you can't have a few drinks and you got to go like hammered, like it's different. Like that's everybody's different paths. But like for me, I enjoy myself. I have fun. I'm safe. So you know, I'm in my 20s. Like I'm here to still enjoy myself and have fun. So
I love that. I love that epiphany, because I had that recently too, and that's exactly the epiphany I had when I was offered the beer, and for once I didn't feel like guilty from society, whatever. I'm like, wait a second. So it's like getting high is a part of the spiritual experience. So if I want to smoke a blunt, or if I want to, whatever it is, you know, like ayahuasca or mushrooms, like I microdosed since I talked to you.
Yes,
so like there's something to be said about that.
I want to.
You have to.
I want to so bad. Oh
you have to.
I just don't have somebody who I know who can give me like reliable source.
Yeah, I didn't either.
For anybody, and it could be sketchy. So
yes, okay, that was my problem.
I want to.
That was you know what?
I want to as a antidepressant.
It was, oh my God. And you know what? That, aside from the past life thing, was so profound. Everybody that says that is right. It should be pumped out. I'm telling you, it was like as if it was nothing. I did not feel skewed. I felt more confident. I felt more focused. I felt more slow, less anxious. I felt like I'm tripping but not tripping. Like I was going around really observing the birds and the trees and being like, right on. And like no visual kind of craziness. And what it
Our
is
ancestors did that.
Oh, it was so cool. My niece, it was like all an accident. My niece, she's 23. And so I was saying to her, blah, 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 I wanted to, and she's like, Jenny, we totally like self. I was like, what? So what they do is they're little capsules. Yeah, that's what I said. So they're little capsules that are, have you ever heard of lion's bane?
Yeah.
Oh,
I take that every day.
Oh my God. Okay, I never heard of it. So they're capsules mixed with the well, go ahead.
It's just not a hallucinogen. It's just a medicinal. It's just a medicinal part of a mushroom, but it's not a hallucinogen. So,
and apparently it's good for you.
It's not a psychedelic.
Yeah, apparently it's good for
really
you.
Good.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm glad I heard from you.
Lion's mane, and there's one other, another type of cordyceps, but it's all anti-inflammatory. That helps keep you focused. Like, yeah, and these are available. They're legal in every state.
Yeah.
But the only way, like, I want to actually microdose on the
psilocybin was mixed with it, so they did half and half. So I don't know. They said the lion's mane would enhance the amount of psilocybin or whatever we're trying to say in mushrooms. So that being said, of course, after that I'm like, I think that I want to do just the mushrooms, but it was cool. But I'm just saying, I wonder what effect would happen. So I'm totally into it. I really want to do ayahuasca.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm so stoked about that. I'm glad I wanted to tell you about that.
Right, so the thing that's funny that you said that, because one of the bartenders here, she's a yoga instructor, and she's super just yogi, like she's a Taurus, so she's more of a like a down to earth spiritual.
I love it.
Like, you know, very earthy spiritual. But she's like, yo, I'm waiting to hear back from this guy to start doing hosting retreats.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I was like, where are you going to host a retreat? And she's like, in Arizona. And I was like, when? And she's like, in March. And I was like, what? I'm like thinking in my head, I'm already like planning it out. I'm like, I'm coming with you. Like,
girl, I just did my tax returns, and Arizona's an hour flight. You best.
Let's go.
Give me the link. I'm not kidding.
My tax return too.
I'm not kidding, dude. I would love to. I've been dying to do the whole ayahuasca thing, you know, as I've been compelled to, but obviously it's going to come down, and I don't know, you know, shoot, am I going to really be on my own? And like, I envision it's coming on so strong that I want to heal so much that part of me that I'm like, maybe in a year from now, when everything COVID, whatever restrictions, I'll fly down there myself. That's how much I know that it is of Mother Aya. It is definitely plant medicine is the thing to really integrate a lot of things. You know, not that people have to, but I am a proponent for it.
Same.
Dude.
Absolutely same. And it's like, it's called to me, like I've heard of it many times. I've seen it many times. My soul in this life has a calling to experience that. I don't know when, but it's kind of like with mushrooms, like, you don't go looking for them, they find you.
Absolutely,
you know
like that conversation.
So,
I'm like, I just happened to mention it, and I'm like, okay, well, hey, divine timing is on. And that is like divine timing. If she seriously does that, I mean, send me the link, I'm not playing. So that is exciting. And you know what? I really I'm totally blown away about what I just had. I had a download for you. So strong, and it gave me like the chills on my spine. You said earlier something about a shaman. I literally seen you, and this is what's interesting with these flashbacks. I seen a picture of you. You were definitely Native American as well. And it's interesting to me because like myself and other people who I can recognize their energy, they look like themselves, but a little skewed. So it looked dead on like your eyes, dead on like your facial structure, but different. And it's interesting because I don't know what this has to do with, I'm going to Google it after. We're doing a ceremony, and it like looks like you're holding, which looks like either ankh, like the Egyptian ankhs. So maybe this wasn't traditional Native American America, and like a drum, but it doesn't really look like traditional stuff. So I've never had that strong of download, so I had to interrupt and tell you right now. So that was neat. I think that's a sign, like, yeah, the Aya or the psilocybin is calling, like that is plant medicine, and you knew how powerful and important this was to your clan or whatever back in that life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I get like one of the flashbacks that I had when one of the past lives when I was a shaman, or like I did help people. I remember like I was definitely a dude, like I was a guy, and I had like Native American darker skin.
You know what? It was a short-haired person. In my vision, it was like this. In my vision, I thought it was interesting because I'm like, well, I know a lot of female Native Americans had long hair. Well, in this one, it was cut like almost like a bob, like a mullet, but not. And so I definitely, that could be male in that life or something, but I definitely had one that was male. It was a trippy one. I knew I was male, and I think that, like we've talked before, it's like gender is of no significance. We have definitely experienced to experience all of the above. You know what I mean?
Yeah, see, and I think that's why, like, with me, in my life now, like, I'm so balanced with my masculine and feminine because I've been many things in my life, like, been women, been men, and, like, now I kind of just, like, it's so natural for me to just, like, dress like a tomboy, like masculine, but like on the inside, like I'm a feminine, like my energy's all feminine.
Yes,
and, like, and just like the balance, but like learning to find the balance of both feminine and masculine energies.
Yes.
But like physically, I'm like this, and then energetically, like I have that motherly, like loving energy that I bring to people.
I validate all that. I feel it so strong. I have since the moment I connected with you. That is so on point. And also, I think that is something that is an observation of mine, is that people maybe who have been through more lifetimes or whatnot, even your grandpa, right, as down as he is, maybe that is because we advocate for that, like what's right, which is what you do and are and speak for. It's like, I wonder if that is because we've had that experience of being both. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, this is not a new concept. People have been loving who they love for thousands of years. So I'm sure that I will, or sometime we have been in that position where we're persecuted for who the fuck we love. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's race or sex, you know what I'm saying? So, powerful.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah. And I think, and just like your love experiences, they play out, you've been with the same, whoever you're with this lifetime, you've been with them many lifetimes before. And that's why when you get that spark, that energy, it's like, like, this is my person. Like, you absolutely know. Whether it's karmic in this life, they were karmic in the past life. Like, that energy that you get, that it's like, this is undeniable.
Yes.
They were a part of your life in the past life. Or whatever. Yep. It's all, like we said, it's all one big timeline.
Right? The terminology is so hard, but yes, we feel each other. But yes, and then you know what is a trip is that I actually had two of the visions that came, interestingly enough, as they say, so I can verify from my experience. One was so fucking beautiful, it's better than we get along in this lifetime. It was so beautiful, like some Scottish thing. I'll tell you about that. It was nuts because I've been Googling it and I'm all, what? Because the subconscious is getting these words like air, A-Y-R-E. I don't know what that means. I looked it up. It means exactly what I saw in my vision, like a Scottish cliff beach, and I'm all. So the thing is, that one was super good, but then in another one, it is so deep. In another one, it was bad. He was he was a perpetrator or whatever, It was a bad type of thing, and ended up, to be honest, I'll just say, ended up choking me to death in this vision. And so I think that it's so true what they say about your significant other or people that you are in a soul group with. You exchange kind of karmic roles of if you're going to cause that person pain. And I don't think that it's like tit for tat. I think it's an experience that we agree to do. and to teach each other, you know, so I don't take that as a bad thing. I teach it as a metaphor too of what I've been through with him. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. So it was so interesting. And okay, so I pulled a card out of the deck that is most representative of Native American. I want to see what we get. Oh my. I can't. I'm going to hang up right now. Don't lie.
Wow.
Don't lie right now, Spirit. Thank you very much for the validation. Oh my God. I was going to say I'm not running out of time. I'm just going to go and for fun for me to my daughter transferred schools and I'm going to walk up and get her halfway. And I was just going to say, let's pull one of these beautiful cards for confirmation before I go and look at that. The Time Master talking about, that's what it talks about in the guidebook, about how shamans knew that time is only, you know, relevant to the observer, and it is not a set, fixed thing. It's an illusion right now.
It's part of it's an illusion. It's part of the illusion of the 3D world. Yes. Just like, you know, the illusion of you're powerless. It's an illusion of the 3D world. Once we elevate to 4D, you break out of illusion.
Yes.
You realize that all of this, the Matrix is an illusion. Matrix, you know.
Yes.
Matrix is just a man-made thing, and so we're slowly getting there. We're ascending.
We are. It's exciting.
It's going to take a while. I don't know if it's going to happen forever, but I don't think it's going to be a whole thing as we live in this lifetime.
Yeah.
But
yes.
It's happening as we speak, and people.
It's a soul journey.
Like it's going to happen either way, whether you want it to or not. It's going to happen.
Amen. It's going to happen. And it's better to talk to people and to accept it because I tried to push it away before. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's so true. And so, like you said,
and that's why there's so many.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, well, I was just gonna say you mentioned something that I think is. Oh. Sorry. Go ahead. You go. I'll zip the pie hole. Go ahead.
No, we both like to talk. So so that's why because like Mother Earth is ascending. She's in her own ascension. So no matter whether we want to or not, it's happening for all of us. Yes. And that's why older souls or souls who are only here for a short amount of time. That's why so many people are unfortunately passing on into the next realm because they can only handle so much in this realm, and they weren't meant to pass into this next 4D realm. So and a lot of what I heard was a lot of these souls who are here, they made more impact leaving this 3D world